dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. One Pikeville man was arrested yesterday for allegedly throwing parties involving underage kids. Police charged Anthony Baker following several complaints of illegal activities at the old Rags to Riches building. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more on why police say they had to act quickly.
Police officers with the Pikeville Police Department say several community complaints,
juveniles drinking, alcohol in the parking lot,
moved them to begin an investigation with the Attorney General's office. That investigation led them to the arrest of Anthony Baker Wednesday.
We gathered a bunch of witnesses, and people stepped forward and brought their children by here. And
they say Baker often threw parties where there was alcohol, drugs, and teenagers. They say Baker purchased the old Rags to Riches building and has since been living here and renting rooms from here.
From the way we can gather a hotel inside of there, he rents rooms in there and stuff of that nature. So we really don't know the whole logistics of it yet.
Man says the arrests had to happen quickly to keep the minors safe.
It was an ongoing saga for us to get that stopped down there, and hopefully this will put an end to it.
But he says the investigation is still underway and more charges may be pending. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
We are told Baker was released from custody this afternoon. One man is in jail on child sexual exploitation charges. Kentucky State Police arrested Rex Doan in Pulaski County as part of an undercover internet crimes investigation. That investigation started after police discovered Doan had been talking and meeting a juvenile for sexual acts. Doan is being held in the Pulaski County Detention Center. The family of Savannah Spurlock says they have hired a private investigator to help in the search for the missing Richmond woman. In a Facebook post, the family says they are working with Lexington-based Salvatore Grasso. The family says they are hopeful with his help and the work of Richmond Police and Kentucky State Police, it will lead to Savannah. She was last seen leaving a Lexington bar in early January. There is a $15,000 reward for information. A lawsuit challenging the use of Kentucky labor law to obtain the names of teachers who participated in sick-outs has been sent back to state court. The suit claims Governor Matt Bevin's administration unlawfully used state labor law to seek the names and records of teachers. The suit stems from teacher protests at Kentucky's Capitol while the legislature was in session. The sick-outs forced some schools to close. The case was shifted to federal court after a filing by state labor cabinet attorneys.
The summertime pattern continues, and we've seen a nice day across the region, just a little bit hot and humid. Let's go to the cameras right now. We start at US 119, US 23 over at Jenkins. It's been a mild day over there for some, and then a little warmer in some other areas. We'll show you those temperatures here in just a second. We go over to WYMT studio camera here in Hazard. Beautiful blue skies, not much in the way of cloud cover here. We're going to continue to see that trend for most of the day. Last 6 hours been pretty quiet, maybe a stray shower or two here and there. Down south, starting to see a little bit pick up now just to the west of Wayne County. We'll track those up for you. Actually, a severe thunderstorm warning down into parts of Middle Tennessee there, not in our area, but down south, we have high pressure kind of sitting close to us, kind of protecting us from most of that rain. 90 here in Hazard right now, 91 in Middlesboro, Monticello, 90 in Williamsburg, close to it there, Prestonsburg. A little cooler up toward Ashland right now, only at 79. Statewide temperatures, region-wide temperatures, 88 Cincinnati, 91 Tri-Cities, 90 Charleston, Louisville, and 89 there in Nashville. So a hot day across our entire region. Headlines for today, a muggy night is ahead. Hot Friday could be one of the hottest days we've seen so far in the summertime, and then straight chances for rain will be back and forth for the next several days. I'll break that down for you coming up here in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, thank you, Brandon. Reactions are pouring in after the Supreme Court issued rulings on two major cases with huge political implications. The High Court blocked the citizenship question from the 2020 census for now, and it also declined to weigh in on party gerrymandering. CBS's Natalie Brand is at the Supreme Court with more.
In a complicated ruling, the Supreme Court has blocked the citizenship question from the 2020 census for now. The High Court is sending the issue back to the Commerce Department for technical reasons, saying the agency's explanation for adding the question was inadequate. The justices heard 80 minutes of arguments on the case in April. Administration lawyers called the citizenship question reasonable, even though it has not been a part of the survey since 1950. The government arguing it needed the citizenship information to enforce the Voting Rights Act. 3 lower courts sided with opponents of the citizenship question. They argued millions of people would not respond to the census out of fear the question will be used against them. The lack of responses could affect how federal money is allocated and could determine how many representatives each state gets in Congress and could eventually give Republicans a bigger electoral advantage. In another decision announced today, the justices ruled 5-4 that the longtime practice of partisan gerrymandering should not be decided by federal courts. Lower courts had found that congressional district maps drawn in Maryland and North Carolina went too far in benefiting one political party over the other. Critics say the ruling may embolden more states to engage in partisan redrawing of district maps. The High Court has previously ruled states cannot redraw districts to disadvantage racial minorities. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
The Department of Justice issued a statement on the census ruling saying, quote, "We are disappointed by the Supreme Court's decision today. The Department of Justice will continue to defend this administration's lawful exercises of executive power." Appalachian Regional Healthcare is named one of the top 10 employers in Kentucky. That's from Forbes magazine and a global market research company. Thousands of employees were surveyed on criteria like salary, atmosphere, and working conditions. ARH ranked 9th on the list. They are the single largest employer in southeastern Kentucky and serve 350,000 residents in Kentucky and West Virginia. Police are searching a home as part of an investigation into a missing University of Utah student. Salt Lake City police say the owner of the home is a person of interest. They say he got rid of a box spring and mattress last week. Police have not released the name of the homeowner. We told you earlier this week, 23-year-old Mackenzie Lewick disappeared more than a week ago. Police say she took a lift from an airport to a park. They say she met someone there at around 3 a.m. and everything seemed to be okay, but she hasn't been heard from since. Corbin Independent School's summer food service program has new wheels. It brings food to those who may go hungry while school is out. WYMT's Taylor Upchurch introduces us to the mobile meals machine.
Kids come running when these wheels arrive at the Corbin City Pool.
The city helping the kids, they care. And that's what that's what it's supposed to be all about.
For at least 20 years, this food service has recognized a severe need in the community.
It doesn't affect every student or every child that we come in contact with, but for at least a handful, we know that this is huge.
During summer vacation, workers continue to bring well-balanced meals to young, hungry bellies who depend on school breakfast and lunch throughout the year.
They might not eat on the weekend. They may or may not. We don't know for sure. But we just want to make sure that when we do have access to them, that we can take care of them.
Sandwiches, fruit, vegetables, juice, and milk. It's a plate full of nutrition, not just a single snack.
Especially when they get dropped off here or at the park and they're there with nothing to eat, no money. So it's really helpful because they really need it, and it's nutritious meals, and they let them eat and drink and have a good time.
As lines continue to grow, only a community effort could have brought this machine to the streets.
You know, lines do get longer, but we want them to get longer, and if we have to have 2 buses, we'll get us another bus.
God's hands are in on this, yes. If it wasn't for him, we'd be nowhere.
Providing needs for little hands and feet. In Whitley County, Taylor Upchurch, WYMT Mountain News.
Not including July 4th, these free meals will be brought to the city of Corbin Pool around 10:30 and 1 o'clock, Monday through Friday until the end of July. Someone in northern Kentucky is $1 million richer. A winning ticket was sold in Florence for last night's Powerball drawing. No one has come forward to claim the prize just yet. The Kentucky Lottery is working to verify the results before naming the business which sold the winning ticket. The estimated jackpot for Saturday's drawing is $137 million. The winning numbers were 1, 5, 16, 22, 54, and the Powerball was 24. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, we'll have the latest on a woman who had to be rescued by helicopter yesterday in central Kentucky.
The hot trend continues all the way through the last days of June and could continue even further than that. I'll have the full forecast coming up.
Have you seen this razor? A family in Pineville says it, along with the trailer it was on, was stolen. Coming up, we'll tell you about their search and trying to get it back.